Okay, artists, today we will be doing the last steps of our Dine heart art project. So today you are going to be cutting out your hearts, and then you will be gluing them down to a piece of paper, and eventually you'll be adding some details with oil pastels. So the first thing, when you get your 4 pieces of paper that you painted last week, you're going to need to get a pencil and scissors and go back to your seat. I would suggest also grabbing a scrap piece of practice paper that I have cut out at Pink Table. So you're going to take your practice one and you're going to fold it in half. It is better to try this out on a piece of practice paper, and if it doesn't work out, it's not your finished, nice painted paper. So I'm going to fold it in half, and now I'm going to make what looks like kind of a candy cane. So I'm going to start maybe an inch or so down, and I'm going to make a curve like a candy cane and come down on the other side. Now notice I leave some space at the bottom and I leave some space at the top. You don't want to make your heart start too close to the top and you can't get that nice curve and touch the sides and go all the way to the bottom. When I cut this out, all these pieces would come off. So you want to make sure that it's inside, that there's a little bit on the bottom, a little bit on the top, so that when I go to cut it out, I have 2 pieces. I will have a heart, which is the positive shape. I have this heart here. And I have the absence of a heart, or the negative space of the heart, where there's like a hole that is shaped like a heart. So I have 2 hearts, a positive heart and a negative heart. Now, if I had cut it my other way, when this was in here, I can put it back together, I wouldn't have 2 pieces anymore. I'd end up with a bunch of little pieces. So once you've practiced, then you want to take and fold your painted paper, and we're making a candy cane. So I know I start a little bit of the ways down. I want to curve up and around. Okay? And I'm going to cut it out. Right on that line. I have to be very careful, and I have to use my other hand to kind of turn. If it gets hard from this side and you want to come from the other angle, you can take your scissors out and cut from the other way, but you have to turn your paper as you cut. Now when I open it up, I should have a negative heart here, a hole of a heart, and a positive heart. All right, I'm going to do that to all 4 of my hearts. Make a curve. Not all the hearts are going to be exactly the same. Some of your hearts might be tall and skinny, some of your hearts might be wide and short. So all the hearts are different, and that's okay. In fact, that is what makes your art interesting. So that's number 2, positive heart and a negative heart. So I fold the corners, and then I make that candy cane. Come down to the other side. And if you're cutting and you're like, but my name is being cut out, that's okay. We don't really need our names on this anymore because we are going to be gluing these down. And my last one. Let's see what this one looks like. All right. And my last heart. Fold it corner to corner. So when you match those corners up, a lot of times I just take my hands and I flatten them. And it makes that crease. And I'm going to make a curve. Candy cane. And notice again, I don't touch the corners. Start a little down, end a little up. All right, cut on my pencil line. I turn the paper as I cut with my left hand, and I'm cutting with my right. If you're a left-handed cutter, you would do the opposite. You would cut with your left scissors and turn with your right. All right, now I have all my pieces. Now at Pink Table, you need to get the background for your art. I'm going to use a black one here. So I'm going to take all my pieces. I should have 4 negative hearts. I'm going to take my positive hearts out. Here are the negative hearts that have the hole. And I'm going to, I might need to bend them the other way so that they lay flat, because I had bent them to draw my candy cane, and now they want to fold that way, and I want to lay them flat. Now looking at this, I have 2 pink and 2 yellow, so I might want to make it like a pattern. Pink, yellow, okay. Then I'm going to glue those down, and then eventually I'm going to be gluing these on top. So I can kind of lay it out how I want it. Decide what hearts are going to be where. I can kind of turn my hearts on top of these. Those will come after. So first I'm going to glue. So I'm going to kind of line them up and do one at a time. So I'm going to flip this one over, get my glue bottle, make sure it's open. Remember, if it's like this, it's closed. I need to turn it so there's no white there and it's open. Now this is where you want to do dot, dot, not a lot. You definitely want to do dots in the corner and along the edge. On the inside of my heart, I'm barely squeezing, just getting enough to make sure the corners and the edges are covered. And then I'm going to count to 3. 1, 2, 3. And it should stay. If it's not staying, I might have to count a little longer. All right, so I'm going to do the same to each of my hearts. Dot, dot, not a lot, but make sure you get it in the corners and along your heart. I'm not sitting here just going like this with pools of glue. That would be too much. Okay, just do little dots quickly around, and then I hold it down and I count to 3. 1, 2, 3. It should stay. All right, here we go again. Remember, no big globs like this. I don't want to see pools of glue. We're not making glue lakes. I'm going to have to spread that around because that's going to squish out. So I just do some quick dots along the top and the edges, and then along my heart. And then I can flip it, line it up where I want it to go, hold it down and count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, my last one. 2 dots all the way around and on the inside. And then I flip it. Careful not to get glue everywhere, and I lay it where I want it, line it up, and then count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now it's time to decide where those hearts go. So I am going to put the yellows and the pinks. We don't want to put the same one inside the other one because then it just looks like a piece of paper again. We want to see those hearts. So you're going to put them on different background hearts or negative hearts. The positive heart, no, so I put the yellows on the pinks and the pinks on the yellow. All right, time to glue these down. I think I want my black heart that I formed here, the negative heart, to come through. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on my heart, and I'm going to kind of turn it a little bit and count to 3. 1, 2, 3. So my next heart, same thing. Little dots all along the edge. I get a lot of friends that want to just put it in the middle, and then all of the edges of my heart start flipping up. I'll show you what I mean. So if you just put glue in the very center like this, a big pool of glue right in the middle, and you go to put it down, then these are all going to be coming up. See how these are flipping up? We need to make sure that we get the edges along the edge so that when I lay it down, I press my hands on it, 1, 2, 3, the whole heart is staying down. It's not going to get caught on anything and flip up. And my last heart. Now when you get done with this heart, hopefully you used a little bit of glue so that it didn't squeeze out and your art is not super wet with glue. 1, 2, 3, so that you can color. So I have a little bit of glue there. I'm going to wipe it. So find a dry spot. The last step of our project is we're going to take oil pastels and we're going to add, and you can see in this artwork, I added kind of shadow to one side of my heart and a light area to the other. So I did black and then white. So the first thing that I would have you do is to take a black or a darker color, or really any color that you want, and you want to just maybe outline a heart around these hearts. And then you can add, if you want to make it kind of look like a shadow, like there's a light over here, I'm going to put color in a black on this side and just a little white highlight like it's glowing on this side of my heart. So So I'm adding white and black. Might want to throw in a little here to make it sort of gray. You can put black over top. And see how that added kind of, that looks a little more 3D because it's showing their shadow on one side and light on the other. If I had a light over here glowing on this heart, it would hit this side first and leave a dark shadow on the other side. You can do that with some other colors too. So if I first make my black heart line and I add a little bit of black here, I might want to drop in another dark color like maybe a blue and blend it with my, go right over top of the black. And you can see how when they go on top of each other, they kind of mix together. And maybe over here, instead of white, I'm going to use this light peachy pink to add a light highlight over here. So they don't have to all be the same. You can kind of play around with it. Maybe I want to add some white to make it. You got to be careful. You can see my heart started to peel up. So when I'm coloring, I have to be careful I don't rip up my heart. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. Make a heart. Add a shadow to one side. So my shadows are all on the left side. You might decide the light's coming from over here and your shadow's on your right. Now over here I'm going to do a yellow. And add yellow to the top to be my light. So just this top corner has a bright light on it. Maybe there's a little bit of white mixed in. So I'm going to blend. And maybe this dark side has a little purple. I'm going to blend some purple in with. Notice I'm not totally covering up my heart. I'm just adding a little shadow to the side and a light to the other. And my very last heart, I outline it with the black, adding my shadow and my light. And let's see, I just did white and black. This time I might add a pink over here. And maybe I'm going to do a red with my black over here. And then mix it up. I can even take the black on top of the red to keep mixing. All right, I want to make it a little more shadowy. I'm careful though, I'm not covering up my whole heart. I'm adding a little more dark to this side. So there you go. You can make those shadows to really make your hearts pop out. First, you're going to cut, then glue, then color. Have fun.